Today, we're going to continue to look at word problems and draw a model that actually is going to be more of our equation that we get from this problem as the model portion of read, draw, write, and then we're going to solve like we've been reviewing the past few days. So let's go ahead and read this problem and create a mental movie. Elisua received a paycheck of $585. The amount reflects her weekly earnings, $45 less than 3 times her weekly earning due to deductions. How much was she paid each week? So now that we have created a mental movie, we're going to model the sentence by sentence in our equation or in our from our word problem below. So if Elisua receives a paycheck of $500, what does that mean, or how could we represent that? Well, we know that's the total. So let's go ahead and annotate that as the total. We know that our equation will equal $585. Then it says that the second sentence is the amount reflects her weekly earnings. That's $45 less than, let's put that, 3 times her weekly earning due to deductions. Well, we know that 45 less means that we're taking away 45. So what operation represents taking away 45? Well, we know that's minus a 45. So let's go ahead and write that above. But then it says 3 times her weekly earnings. So what does that mean? Well, we know that means multiplication, multiplying by 3. And do we know how much her weekly earnings are? No. So we can use a variable to represent what is missing. So I would say the weekly earning, we could use W. And so I'm going to write that over here so I remember what that stands for. And then the question is saying, well, how much was she paid each week? Or in other words, what is W, right? What is the weekly earning? So let me move this a little bit below and actually use a different color so that we can put all of these pieces together into an equation. So I know that the total is 585. I know that 3 times her weekly earnings, we don't know what the weekly earnings are, but we can show it as 3 times W. Then we take away 45 to get our total. Awesome. So now that we have our equation, let's go ahead and begin solving it. So we have our operations that are in the equation. What operations do we see? Well, I see multiplication here, and then I see subtraction here. So we should be thinking in our head what operations we need to do to get rid of or that are opposite of multiplying and subtracting. So what order do we follow to then start solving these equations? Well, we know we use GEMDAS to solve it when we have all of the numbers there, right? When we have a normal expression. So in order to work backwards to figure out what the weekly earnings are, we got to go backwards as well. So my eye first needs to look for any adding and subtracting. Well, I see subtracting 45 here. So because of that, I need to think about the opposite of subtracting, which I know is adding 45. And so we always cut our equation right at the equal sign to show that the left side and the right side need to remain balanced. So when we add 45, we have to add it to both sides. So we know that minus 45 plus 45, right? Those are opposites and we get 0. And all we are left with is 3W, or 3 times W. And then let's see what we get when we add these together. We get 630. So far, so good. We are done with our adding and subtracting step. Now we need to move up to looking for multiplying and dividing. Well, we see that there's multiplication here with 3 times W. So we need to think about what is the opposite or the inverse of multiplication, which we know is division. So we're going to show division using our fraction bar here. Now, what number do we need to get rid of or remove from the W or our variable? Well, that number is 3. And we know that we're going to divide both sides by that same number. So I have 3 on both sides. Now, what is 3 divided by 3? Well, I know that that leaves us with 1, and more specifically 1W. So imaginary 1 is always in front of that W. And now we need to divide 3 into 630. Bring down the 3. 3 goes into 0, 0 times. So 1W equals 210. So what does this number actually mean? Well, to look back at our variable, it is the weekly earnings. So let's write that in a complete sentence. She is paid $210